In this demo, we'll see how to add pagination to a table. In this module, we already have a screen created with a table displaying employees. The data displayed on the table comes from the getEmployees aggregate that is defined at the screen level. Let's start by adding the pagination pattern from OutSystems UI to the screen. This pattern requires a few parameters: the starting index, the max number of records per page, and the total number of records in the table. Let's add two local variables to store the starting index, and the max number of records to show per page. Let's now set the values of the pagination pattern. Both the start index and max records will use directly the respective local variables. Regarding the total count, this has to be set to the number of records fetched in the aggregate that is the source of the table. Finally, we have to define what happens when the end user changes from one page to another. Inside this new client action is where we will define that behavior. Since we will actually refresh the table data here, we can change its name to refresh. This action has a new start index input that we can use to set the start index of the pagination. With an assign, we can set our start index local variable to this new value. When a user changes page, the start index will change accordingly. Then, we can refresh the data by re-executing the aggregate, so the data for the new page appears on the table. This takes care of the logic. But we're not done yet. We need to make sure that the local variables are properly defined. By default, we will start with the start index as 0, meaning the first record. For the max records, we'll set a default number of 5, meaning we want 5 records per page in the table. When the user changes page, and the refresh action runs, it will take into account the current start index and the max records to determine the new starting index for the new page. In this case, when changing from page 1 to 2, the new start index will be 5, to display the next 5 records. The final step is to set the start index and max records properties of the aggregate to our variables, so that we only fetch the data we need in each page. Let's now publish our module and see this in action. The pagination pattern will show at the left which records are being displayed, and the total number of records available. And to the right, the page switcher. Clicking on the page numbers allow navigating between pages. Let's go back to Service Studio and create a new screen using the empty template. What we created can also be built quickly by dragging an entity onto a screen. This scaffolding accelerator allows you to build the pagination quickly and then customize it to your needs.